And while we're at our little generational war, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think that 30 to 35-year-olds are weird. Older millennials, they're pretty chill. I'm not going to lie.
Sometimes I wonder why people have this kind of fights or war and start saying, "Oh, I feel like Gen Z people are like this. I feel like millennials. I feel like boomers." Sometimes I'm like, why? Okay, and this Gen Z lady, she's kind of coming for 30 to 35 years old millennial, and she's saying that they act like a child. They are childish, they don't act their age, they don't act that they are grown. They all claim that they look younger, but they don't. They don't kind of know themselves. It feels like they're just like stuck in the middle and they don't even know what to do. Yo, let me show you all the video. Yeah, we'll come back and talk about it.
And while we're at our little generational war, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think that 30 to 35-year-olds are weird. Older millennials, they're pretty chill. I'm not going to lie. But that 30 to 35, I don't know what it is about y'all. I don't know what happened 1990 to 1995. Y'all are a very interesting demographic. I made a video about this a long time ago and I called y'all the Peter Pan generation, and that still stands because this is the same generation that was saying we look younger than Gen Z. But I've also noticed that y'all tend to act younger than Gen Z too. And me and my friends have had discussions about this where like the 30 to 35-year-olds that we've encountered, especially in the workplaces, sometimes y'all remind me of teenagers. Like I've literally had conversations with coworkers before and I had to like, how old are you again? Because like you're reminding me of my little like 19-year-old cousin right now. And on one hand I say, hey, that's beautiful, keep your youth, don't let the world get you down. But then sometimes, especially when y'all start having conversations about looking younger than Gen Z, I think maybe you look younger because you're mentally younger, babe. I think they're having a hard time growing up, and I think that's why the millennial stare conversation bothered them so much, because they don't like the idea of being classified as like these older, out of touch people, even though everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a turn. One day Gen Z is going to be old. They love to remind Gen Z, oh, you're going to be old one day too. It's like, relax, Savannah. It's okay. Like children are going to be a little ageist. That's the reality of life. They are not okay with that. They don't like that. And on one hand, I also get it because it's like our idea of 30s is changing. 30s is the new 20. And I get that. But also, y'all kind of do gotta grow up at some point a little bit somehow. That's all. I just made a video about this that goes more in depth, but just to touch on it here in this comment section, I never said that y'all were irresponsible. Obviously, millennials are one of the most college decorated generations we've ever seen. Like, y'all are taking care of yourselves. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about. What I'm realizing, what I think it is that I've noticed that in comparison to 30 somethings, Gen Z, 20-year-olds, 20 somethings, they just tend to have a more stronger developed sense of self. Like there's a very clear sense of identity, personal style, aesthetic, value, mentality. Like it just seems like, I guess because of the internet and like the progressive, more free society that we live in, Gen Z had more of an opportunity to craft a personal identity, whereas 30 somethings, along with maybe even some older millennials, we're still in that like social standard era of society. And as we're growing into this more progressive and free society, I think that a lot of that generation just never got an opportunity to craft a personal identity, and so they cling to the social standards. And that's why I bring this up in relation to the conversation about we look younger than Gen Z, because it kind of feels like a lot of 30 somethings cling to the social narrative of youth because y'all don't have personal identities. And at the same time, y'all are aging out of being considered youth. Like y'all are young, y'all are not old, but you're not the youth. But a lot of y'all don't have an identity outside of being young because that was the social idea. So it kind of just comes off like, yeah, I don't know, Gen Z kind of just seems like they know who they are more. And y'all are over here talking about, well, we look young. And it's like, girl, who cares? What are we talking about?
If you are at that age range, 30 to 35, what do you think about this? If you're not, do you think this is true or not? Because some people were like, this is true. Why even people at that age range are like, yes, I accept. We don't act our age. I accept. We're acting, or some are saying we're acting exactly our age because this is how you're supposed to act when you're in your 30s. And so people are coming for her like, why are you so concerned about other people, how all other people are living their life? Why are you concerned about her adulthood? Why are you concerned about a particular age when you've not even gotten to that age? So you don't even know how you're gonna be when you're at that age? Why are you so worried about something that is not important? You guys, let me show you some videos and we'll come back and discuss.
We look younger than Gen Z, but I've also noticed that y'all tend to act younger than Gen Z too. And me,
Do we act younger, or are you just turning into a boomer? You are going full hardcore boomer mode right now. I need you to calm down. I need you to act your age. There is so much more to life than to be hating on how a specific group of people that are older than you, how they choose to live their life. This is sad. And your whole thing is, oh, you guys need to find yourself. Oh, who's going to be the next adult? Clearly you. Clearly you. If you're mature and you want to be an adult, go ahead. I mean, we're adult. Who's to say what an adult is? Like, what what is wrong with you? Like, what happened in your life to make you be like, man, those people, they're older than me and they think they're younger than us, which I agree is a ridiculous problem. But to go and say, like, I don't like it. I don't like how young and happy they are. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm happy and I do what I want with my money, and you think that specific things are only for kids despite them being made and created by adults. Are you okay? Like, this whole boomer thing, this mindset, you guys need to break away from it. You guys were born in a generation that really cared about self-image and how others perceive you. Millennials, on the other hand, we got to live in a fun generation where we just did not care. We're gonna be cringe. Like it's our last day on earth, as you should. So maybe just wrap this up, go outside, take a whole new, different perspective, and please stop with the boomer rhetoric. It isn't it.
to 35, I don't know what it is about y'all. I don't know what happened 1990 to 1995.
Feel free to disagree with me. I certainly don't believe that I look younger than Gen Z. But do you want to know what happened to those millennials? And I genuinely believe this is it. We sat and watched 9/11 in like our anywhere from 3rd to 5th grade classes. So when you say, oh yeah, you act mentally young, yeah, do you know what trauma does to people? Do you know what it does? It stunts their mentality. I think people in elementary school should not have been watching 9/11 on TVs. Maybe middle school, maybe high school, because they have more of a capacity to understand. But I think literal children watching people jump from buildings and like having to sit there, yeah, I think that did something to us mentally. And that's the exact demographic I know because I was in 4th grade when 9/11 happened, and I'm 92. I'm square in the middle of that demographic that you're talking about. So my true belief is it was 9/11. Also, that demographic that you are speaking about is probably one of the first generations, millennials, first generation to actually experience like shooter drills, but specifically young millennials or like medium to young millennials, they were the first group of kids to always have active shooter, active person on the premise drills. I think a lot of it needs to be studied. Really what the late 90s, early 2000s did to millennials, because especially, like I said, mid to younger millennials, because I think that is what has caused us to be the way we are.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think that 30 to 35-year-olds are weird. older millennials, they're pretty.
I feel like what this generation doesn't understand is that people who are 30 to 35 are different than people who are still in their late 20s is because of the bridge of the internet. We didn't have the internet. Us in our 30s and 35, we didn't have internet until 1998. So like majority of our youth, we got to actually be kids. We had to imagine things. We had to come up with stuff. We had to be creative to keep ourselves entertained. We also had to be very active. We also played outside. We didn't sit in front of a TV. We were outside playing or building forts or doing little kid stuff, playing with toys, playing like we didn't have an iPad sitting in front of us. We didn't have laptops. We didn't have computer screens. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any of that at all. I come from a family dynamic where I have an older sister who is 4 years older than me. I'm the middle child. And then 4 years after me, I have my little brother. So it's 1990, 94, and 98. Me and my sister, the 1990 and me, 94, we look very young. We look very young for our age. We get stopped wherever we get stopped at. People, 9 times out of 10, think that we are in our 20s, our mid-20s to early 20s. My brother, who was born after us, 4 years after me and 8 years after my sister in 1998, the people that she likes and she can get along with, he looks like he's pushing 35, 40. I promise you. When I went to college, the advisors would not even approach me or talk to me. They talked to my brother, who was a freshman in high school. I think what it is we don't look young because we're immature. We look young because we got to be our age. This is how you're supposed to look when you're 30 or 35. What it is y'all are growing at a fast rate. The internet is actually rotting you guys. That you guys are growing at a fast rate. And in another post, you said, well, these are people that I'm talking about are people who don't even be on social media, or they don't be on TikTok necessarily. They'll be on Instagram or Facebook. It's because we never cared about social media. Social media is y'all life. From 1998 on, social media is y'all life. We didn't have that. We don't give a fuck about social media. We don't care. Our generation is the generation, we're the fun generation. Honestly, we're the fun generation. That's why you think that we're immature. You guys are very serious. Like our parents. We are fun. We got to be fun. We got to have fun. We got to be outside. We got to connect with people. We knew how to make friends. We knew how to interact. We knew how to talk to people. This is how you're supposed to be. Y'all are social experiments. Just like the generation before y'all. Before us, before millennials. We're social experiments. Like, I feel as though, like, because of the internet, y'all don't understand how fast y'all are actually growing as people. I'm going to be 31 this year. 31. If you literally put me next to my brother, I promise you, on my life, you're going to be like, that nigga's 40. I promise you. And that nigga's going to be 27. That nigga looks like he's fucking 40 and already got 3 kids. You put me next to my sister, you're going to be like, oh, you're 23, she's 25. Off rip. She's about to be 30 fucking 5 and already had 3 kids. It's because we got to be youthful. We know what being youthful is. We're youthful. It's not that we have Peter Pan syndrome. Y'all just grew up fast. Y'all grew up fast. Y'all was surrounded by the internet. Y'all, it's always this need of comparing your life to another person's life. We didn't have that. We didn't have to look at what this person had or what that person had. We literally had to like get on our bikes and like drive to a different neighbor or drive to a different neighborhood and then see like, oh my God, like these people are living like we didn't have that. Now that it's so accessible to you literally on your phone, I could get on my phone and I can see people your age already millionaires. I'll just be like, God damn. And I know that that is competition for you guys. So y'all feel as though y'all have to put in all this work and do all this work and everything else like that. Where we had already realized, like, I mean, they're working you bone dry. Go ahead and work fucking 90 hours a week. Go ahead and do all this work and put in all this work and everything else like that. I mean, do what you do. If you want to make your money, go and make your money. If you want to be TikTok famous, you want to do, like, we don't care. We don't care. And I feel like we're just very youthful people. We're funny. We found other joys in life than chasing money and wanting to be parents so fast. Is with us, we are funny. We're hilarious. We make jokes out of everything. Like, it's because that's how we were as kids. Like, we have youthful energy. I just feel like she kind of got, like, whatever. You kind of got it, like, all wrong. Like, you think that we are so, like, oh, we look younger than you. We're look younger than you. Like, we're trying to throw it in your face. No, it's actually very shocking to us how we are very youthful and you guys look very old. And I'm not even going to say y'all look old. Y'all look like y'all should be our age. And we look like we should be your age. Like, this is how you're, like, literally, like, youthful, young looking. That's how you're supposed to look when you're in your 30s. You're not supposed to be looking old. I'm not supposed to be walking around here looking like the Golden Girls. I'm only fucking 30. That's it. That's it. That's so young. But, like, to y'all, like, that's so old. Because y'all looked old all y'all damn lives. Y'all looked so mature. Y'all mature so much faster than what we've ever matured. I also think a lot of it has to do with the different types of foods and consumptions that you guys have now that we didn't have back then. Or whatever, like, it's literally aging y'all at a fast rate. Gen Z, like, y'all Zoomers. Like, I don't think, like, it's a us problem. I really think that it's a y'all problem. Y'all are literally too serious. We didn't have the internet. Internet didn't become popular in households until 1998. Those people that you're talking about that are 30 to 35 are 1990 to 1994. Or 1995 now, because I'll be 31 and I'm 94. That's a y'all problem. The society in the world fucking ate in it, eating y'all asses the fuck up. They're not eating us up, and y'all be like kind of butthurt about that, and then y'all gotta find explanations as to like why. There's no explanation besides the fact that this is what you're supposed to look like. You're supposed to look young. People are supposed to mistake you for your 20s and your 30s. That's what Jay-Z meant when he was just like 30 is the new 20, nigga. I'm still hot still. When y'all get 30, y'all are going to look 30, if not 40. I don't know. That's how I feel. And like at the end of the day, we could give two fucks. That's another thing. We don't give a fuck about shit. So when y'all get on here and y'all be talking out the side of y'all asses like that, we don't care. We don't care. You're just making yourself old because you're complaining about stuff that's not fucking relevant. It's not relevant. I'm sorry you weren't born in a cool era. We were born in a cool era. Y'all were born in a fast-paced technology type of era. That just wasn't us. It wasn't. And I literally got stopped at the grocery store today. And the nigga was like, how old is you? I was just like, nigga, I'm 30. He was just like, oh man, I could have sworn you were like 25. Yeah, because 25 people that are actually 25 look like they're fucking 30. Y'all was 21 already looking 31. It's because of the internet. y'all competing with each other. But who look better?
While we're at our little generational war, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I think that 30 to 35-year-olds are weird.
Oh, for the love of God, leave us alone. Why are y'all trying to make this into a generational war? We don't care. We just want to buy a house like our parents did with a handshake and a head nod. Leave us alone. We don't care.
I think that 30 to 35-year-olds are weird. Older millennials, they're pretty chill.
Me being a part of that age range, I think it's because Gen Z, y'all lives are so serious. Y'all's lives are so serious. We didn't realize we can't buy houses until we became adults. When we stopped fucking around, you know what I'm saying? Because we still had fun. So y'all ain't having fun. We had fun, and we do look younger than you. Like, I'm not, no shade, but baby, I'm 32. Have a nice
30 to 35 lack self identity. Laughing my ass out. We know who we are and we do not care to try to appease any generation. I still dress how I always have because I do not care. I have my own aesthetics, aka corporate MO. No idea what you think you all have an identity when you all stole ours from our middle school days. At this point, it really is projection, what they regard as a sense of self. Gen Z's cosplay millennials, from clothes, hairstyle, music, even the new pop girls just recycle what's been done. The late 2000 and 2010s was a prime aesthetic for my age group. You're rewriting history now. That man said, Gen Z is quite literally the definition of lack of sense of identity. Everything is based on past trends and micro aesthetics and a weird sense of conformity in order to not step outside the box and be cringed. Again, you all are called Zoomers for a reason. This was nothing but word salad. That's all this was. Gen Z is giving self identity lectures now, and we are for real. Don't take it personal, girl. I'm sure you know who you are, but the rest of our generation has some deep issues. I think it's the opposite. You guys are fixated on age and how you should act at 30. How do you know how a 30-year-old acts if you ain't going by the tradition social standard? I'm 39 and I get where you're coming from, but Gen Z's confidence and personal sense of style online doesn't always equal clarity offline. Millennials had to build identity without filters, followers, or algorithms, deciding who we should be. You're bold, but sometimes it's curated boldness. There is a difference. For me, yeah, I feel like why Gen Z are going to have problem with 30 to 35 years millennial is because 30 to 35 years, they don't kind of take things too deep, right? They just live accordingly. Everybody have their own unique style. Everybody is not looking at, oh, what's trending, or this is what they are wearing now, or let me start wearing it, or this is how you're supposed to dress. I feel like people that are in their 30, 35, they're like just living life the way they should live. They like what they have their own unique style, they have their different kind of makeup or something. Like, I just feel like they kind of be themselves. They don't really care about how other people see them or perceive them. And that's why Gen Z people look at 30 to 35 as if they're not growing because they don't kind of want to do accordingly the way you're supposed to do, if that makes sense. Gen Z, on the other hand, they cannot take life too serious. They kind of want to always care about what people think about them. They always want to do things by the book. Oh, this is not aesthetically pleasing. Oh, this is how it's supposed to look. Oh, this is how we're supposed to do. That's why I feel like they're kind of being too hard on themselves and they want to be a certain way. And that's why most of the time, most of them actually want to look alike. But when you see 30 to 35, they don't look alike. Everybody has a unique style. unique sense, unique, even it's just, it's different. Well, she made a lot of videos talking about this particular topic, and bashing. She was actually replying to almost all the comments in all of those videos. And she was like, "Is this what I'm talking about? You are very sensitive. You are the one to listen. You are the one to grow up. So if you guys don't want to grow up, who are going to be the adults?" And I'm like, how many 30 to 35 years old do you know that you just have to tell everybody that, oh, 30 to 35 years old are not grown up, they don't have sense, or they don't want to live like an adult? And how is 30 to 35 years? How are they supposed to live? What are they supposed to be doing? Just say it, okay? What are you supposed to be doing? What are the standards they're supposed to live? I just feel like they're just enjoying themselves and living a day at a time, not putting so much pressure on themselves. Because when you have some conversation with some Gen Z, you see them want to like do so many things that even you as 30 to 35, you're like, huh? Why are you thinking so big at this stage? Because even you've never you are seeing it that way, I will achieve it later in life, but then they're like, I have to achieve it before I get to a certain age. So I feel like that's I have to be this, I have to be that. 30 to 35 don't have it. They just want to enjoy themselves and be themselves, have their own, thing. Sometimes they don't follow trend, right? In fact, most of the things that are trending are the things that they've done already. A lot of styles, hairstyles, and clothing. These are the things that millennials have worn, and that is what Gen Zs are bringing out, or that is what is trending now. And it is not kind of something that you want to jump into because you've done it when you were younger. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, generational war and fight. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, but then it happens. But I'd like to know your thoughts about this down in the comment section. Are you 30 to 35? What do you think about what she's saying? Do you agree with her if you're not in that age range? I've kind of noticed that these things happen. Why do you think that this age range people actually act this way? Let's have conversation down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Sugar Mary David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.